Greetings, all my lovely students. Mr. O'Connor once again, with yet another screencast tutorial, this time on English Colony Cornell Notes number 3, Jamestown, a most interesting subject of study regarding English colonies. Let's get started. We drop the accent so we can move along. English Colonies, Cornell Notes number 3, right out of Game Lab. Jamestown Colony, congratulations for being there. We have some things to do, so let's hit it. Rock and roll. English Colonies, notes number 3, Jamestown Colony. Our second colony we're looking at. Roanoke, of course, was the first. And we'll still have Plymouth Colony coming up, which is very similar to Jamestown in that it relies on Native American aid to be successful as a colony so everybody doesn't die. Chief Powhatan of the Powhatan Indians is very important in aiding the Jamestown colonists so that they survive their third winter. At any rate, here we are, Cornell Notes number 3. We will have a Zinn reading, comprehension questions, of course, and you always have to do your summary. I'll remind you at the end. Very good. Open up your document, English Colonies, Cornell Notes. The essential question, were English colonies in America a democratic society? We've been analyzing that. Our objective, students will be able to answer comprehension questions in order to analyze Jamestown colonist relations with Indians. Jamestown Colony, Jamestown Colony. First permanent English colony in the Americas. Yay, English. Golf clap. The Virginia Company of London is a business venture, if you will. These are entrepreneurs, people who want to start businesses and make a lot of money. For the most part, there's 3 ships of mostly wealthy men. Not big, manly, muscly men. But businessmen seeking profit. Ka-ching! All about the Benjamins. You guys still say that? 1607. How many years is that after Roanoke? I'd have to scroll up and check my notes, Mr. O'Connor. I'm not sure I'm prepared how to do that. Here's a picture of it. This is a strange place to start a colony because if you check it out enough, you'll see water all around here. This is wet. This is nasty. This kind of environment breeds mosquitoes and disease, and it's hard to get human waste to go away. It keeps coming back up. Nasty, and people got sick, and we'll look into that. Jamestown Colony, Virginia. I want you to pay attention to this Jamestown Colony. Not the Jamestown, North Carolina that exists today, somewhat close to each other, a little confusing. Also, look how close it was to the lost colony of Roanoke Island. They're trying again, right here on the shore of the Atlantic Ocean. So, not Jamestown, North Carolina, but Jamestown Colony in Virginia. Peace. Jamestown Colony, 2/3 of the colonists die in the first year of starvation, disease, and unsanitary conditions. Dysentery plays a huge part, as it does in a lot of early American history, especially for the colonists. A lot of dysentery, which affects your stomach. It's basically a virus that makes it hard for you to keep in your fluids, and eventually you die of some pretty rotten things going on. Oh. Speaking of which, excuse me for 1 second. Dysentery is not fun at all. Very well, moving on. Jamestown Colony, the Powhatan Indians. You had Chief Powhatan, as we talked about him earlier, a key figure who was dealing with the Jamestown colonists and really doing them a lot of favors by giving them, first of all, welcoming them and giving them supplies and food, especially because they were flailing their first winter there and their first several winters there. And all he wanted to do was trade for weapons. You guys get some great weapons. You get some great, muskets, guns, and things that they hadn't had that much contact with before. So with rival tribes around and rival confederacies, they wanted to compete with them. They figured the English would help them out. Boy, were they wrong. At any rate, you'll read about that meeting, how Chief Powhatan and the colonists kind of negotiated or didn't negotiate. And I want to bring it back to exactly what we're going to be doing with that, and that'll be reading this document, Powhatan Zinn, Howard Zinn, of course, who you should know by now, a very famous historian. You have these questions to copy down and paste into your notes. And then, of course, after you tag the answers, after you tag them, you'll erase them when they're all answered. And you still need to do a summary. Summaries are so important. If you haven't been doing them, then you haven't been getting your notes passed anyway. Make sure you do them. That's how we synthesize information. This has been a wonderful time. Thank you for bearing with me, and Godspeed.